The climate catastrophe requires change to how the world is run. That change needs to be socialist change. Serious discussion on how socialist change can be achieved to end the climate ecological disaster is the focus of the online rally hosted by the Committee for a Workers' International, the CWI. The CWI is a worldwide socialist organisation with groups and members on every continent. Extreme weather events are claiming lives and destroying homes, infrastructure and even whole towns. From the unprecedented high temperatures and drought in Canada and the US, which has sparked infernos, to the devastating wildfires in the Amazon and Australia, flooding in Bangladesh and India, and major droughts across large parts of Africa and Asia, to the highest recorded temperature in Europe and the devastating fires in Greece and Turkey, to the deluge of rainfall and floods in Western Europe, China, and more recently, New York and Louisiana. Previously once-in-a-lifetime events are becoming the new normal as the planet gets hotter. Of course, it's the poorest who suffer the most. Over 2 million people have died from extreme weather events in the last 50 years. 90% of those deaths have occurred in ex-colonial, so-called developing countries. Over 60% of mammals, birds, fish and reptiles have been killed since 1970. It's estimated that over 160 species have been made extinct in the last decade alone. All this disaster can't just be assigned to natural causes, but are a result of how society is organised. The organisation of industrial production is the main cause behind these disastrous developments. The concentration of CO2 in the atmosphere is now the highest in 40 million years. CO2 emissions and other greenhouse gases being pumped into the atmosphere from capitalist industry, transport and agribusiness. It's also the case that many environmental disasters have been made far worse through government cuts to the funding of flood defences and forest management. The question is, can this climate emergency be halted under the current world's economic, political and social system, capitalism? Unless fundamental change takes place in how social production is organised and how society in general is organised, climate catastrophe cannot be avoided. The fight to stop the climate catastrophe is interlinked with fighting to end the capitalist mode of production. And make no mistake, the solution has to be worldwide. Greenhouse gases emitted don't stop at the borders of nation-states, and that fact takes us to the heart of the problem. Capitalism and its insatiable drive to maximise profit through the exploitation of labour and raw materials has created an interconnected global system of finance and trade. But corporate ownership still resides within individual countries. No capitalist government is unilaterally going to jeopardise its global share of trade and production, and therefore corporate profits, by implementing the comprehensive measures needed to halt climate change. The only feasible way to achieve sustainable levels of net zero carbon production and a redistribution of wealth to secure decent living standards for all is through democratic international planning, impossible in a capitalist system of competing companies and nation states. To stop destructive climate change, we need socialist change. Those who are serious about ending the climate catastrophe should draw this conclusion and mobilise to change the world. That, in turn, means building a mass movement for a fundamental shift in power and wealth, based on working class people, whose class interests are diametrically opposed to the capitalists. How do we build that mass movement to change the world? That's what this rally will be about and why you need to be there. It will be taking place online and involve members of the CWI from Africa, Asia, America and Europe, all socialist fighters. It's on the 26th of September at 2 p.m. British Summer Time. Don't miss it.